Hello and welcome to you all on this fine evening. I am joined tonight not just by LittleWing, but we are also hoping that Phil will join us later. Hi, LittleWing.
Hey, Archangel, how you doing? Hello, chat.
I'm doing good. Fall has definitely turned up over here on my side of the pond. I was going to say everything is turning orange and wet and but other than that, it's perfect weather for Blood Bowl. So in that sense, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Same in the UK. Some lovely foliage at the moment, if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I was just talking to my girlfriend before earlier today. When we were out, we're looking for a house. We were out looking at houses, and then I was like, this time of fall, I love it. The leaves are still on the trees. They're still red and yellow and all sorts of beautiful colors. In a month when it's all on the ground and it's brown and it's gray, no, then I don't like fall anymore.
Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
Yeah. So let's have a peek. I think we are in luck that there's several matches to pick from. And we actually have quite a few things that we need to cover today. We also have some predictions that we're gonna have a peek at. Um, we have some let's call it not equal luck, all of us on that. This is the outstanding matches for this round, and then the keen eye would be wondering how you can have a match that is -1. That is because Dark Wolf have already started their round 8, so they're not even on a Monday evening. They're already starting Wednesday. Hello, Mark.
That's what
That is very progressive.
it's keen. It's what we like to
Very
see.
keen, very keen. So definitely. The beauty of this new thing I've made here is that we can actually live update it. So I can just go in and request it and it will pull. It will not pull for the game itself. However, just for those who are, it pulls from the Nuffle API. That means that whenever a match finishes in the game, we'll still have to wait for it to sort of twinkle out until Nuffle. Hello, Sector. So in that sense, we should be fairly up to date. Um, we also, so for those who haven't already noticed, I do like statistics and I do like numbers. So we will also have a look at the 20s and different divisions. And I've thought, well, we now have it for the individual players. We have the for the individual leagues. What was missing? Clearly, I have now also made it for the different races, and I will not be showing that until later because I think that is actually quite interesting, and I don't think people will be knowing exactly who which races are at top at what lists. That I was quite surprised by quite a few of them at least. So that I'm looking forward to. Yes, Methamus. What a surprise that I like data. Yeah, that's really weird. No one saw that one coming. That's clearly a new thing. Cool. I'm just double checking that yeah, so this should actually also be showing the match. Just 2 seconds. I'll go into OBS here and fix that. You should actually also, when we in Excel, be able to see the game client. I have so many windows open. That's why I'm struggling here to find. Do game capture. Now you should also be able to see the game client. A lot of beautiful thing. And if we focus purely on that, that's that one. We should have a peek. I might be a little bit biased here, but I think we should start by having a peek at the Prem West because clearly Prem West is best. So that's why.
Well, there's skin in the game here for me as well because the Chaos Chosen needs to start moving up the league for predictions.
Oh yeah, I have the questionable joy of playing against them. Not this coming round, but the round after. So any claw that goes missing is definitely not a thing that I will be missing.
Yeah,
RTSD. I will not have that type of slander.
I love
West
that. That's
West
brilliant.
West always makes it to the final and always wins. That's clearly what the statistic says. No, that's definitely yeah. Also, like for FA Cup, like we actually had a quite a. There was 4 matches with 4 Prem West in the matches, and of those 4 matches, 3 of the Prem West players fell out in one round. So we went from half of the players to a quarter of the players in one round. That is quite impressive. I think that must have been, yeah, that is Lala Proud putting a touchdown on the scoreboard here. Yeah, Snow Troll is the lone survivor. Actually, also the lone Prem survivor in the FA Cup. So I think that's actually quite interesting to see how that pans out. So yeah, there's 2 lizard men. Not really surprised. Yeah, Senjo will have to cover the west side still, even though it's all off. We will accept it. Yeah, I think there's no east left. I think who was it? The last east player to drop? I think. Oh, Snow Troll. Who played Snow Troll? We could have a look, but I'm trying to remember. No. I think there will be. Yeah, if you do that. So I think was it not Blitzy? I think it's Blitzy and Urkel. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fairly sure. I think there will be a while before something really happens, unless, well, there is a goblin on the field. It could be a one-turn touchdown here.
Yeah, it was Blitzy.
Yeah. I will say, however, that with 0 rerolls, getting a 1D touchdown here would be quite a swingy of the dice, but good season and well, close to Plitzy, for those who are not aware, had this misfortune of joining several of the divisions before finding the right one, and Nuffle being the way that it works is that then thereby Plitzy was shown in many of the divisions. I think it has, however, fixed itself now, but yeah. Is that doesn't particularly look like a one-turn touchdown approach to me, or am I wrong? Let's see here. No, especially not when you don't put the goblin on the pitch.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I think it's.
Odd.
I think it's the rain. Also, it's really like you get harder to pick it up, gets harder to hand it off, and yeah,
But just give yourself a chance.
Yeah, well, I'm inclined to have done the same. Like, just keep one at least. Like leave it as a just in case everything else happens as you wanted it to, and then, well, might as well at the very end. But yeah, because it's like, what are you going up and blitzing one of these? That's sort of nice, yeah. But then what?
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. That's a good question. I would say, if I was to say, usually from my experience of playing Alex, I don't think as much. Nope, clearly confirmed on that there. I would, however, said that with a bench of 2, I would probably have gone for it in this case. Especially with Little Proud being on 11 players, right? Yeah, 11 players. So any KOs or anything would have been relevant. And if you have a bench of 2, I would think, yeah, would probably have been, again, as a last ditch effort of saying, like, I might as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if a lineman gets sent off at this point versus a one, even if he gets a KO, I would probably. let's have a switch to one of the other matches and see what's going on there. There's so many. I'm quite delighted by that. So there's so many matches to pick from here, and that's if I go to all divisions and all leagues, then it gets to be even more. If we just settle for our own, however, there's still quite a few to pick from here. So let's take Worsner.
Yeah,
He's been having quite a good season.
yeah, he's top of the league, and I think Stubacker was my pick for third, and he's sort of mid-table at the moment. So,
Yeah.
ooh,
Wow. I think. Well, Worsner's definitely on the way to getting a touchdown here, right? So, but that would still leave for quite a bit of a harder spot for. Talk about fouling.
there we go.
Yeah.
So sweltering heat here, though. So what
Ooh.
do? Do you take the
Wow.
1-1?
Oh. I'm thinking he's trying to, like, he's probably going to try to score next turn, right? And that leaves 2 turns, so that means he needs to get the ball and score. That means he also needs to get as many of those L's off the field as possible, right? So I get the why the blitz, falling, but it's gonna be a little bit risky because like 3 L's on the field is too many, almost 3 too many,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And this is one of those tough spots where, like, as an orc player, you're like, it's completely safe to take the draw at this point, right? But it's more a question of, like, do you dare to push it and roll the dice to see if you can get the winning, potentially losing touchdown, or are you just gonna say, oh well, I'm fine with it with that amount
yeah.
of, yeah.
I think Worsner's like I think he's like 5 points clear at the top of
Yeah.
Central.
He's not in that sense at risk here, right?
So I just probably take the draw. But okay, he's gone for it.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Well, Mark, you have to consider, even though I also play Dark Elves, the only good elf is a dead elf. I will have to support that at any given day. There's nothing that does elven bullshit like elves. Especially when you like playing elves with AG5. Then it gets really, really. Yeah. Yeah, Skaven is a bit the same.
Yeah, yeah. Only good gutter runner is a dead one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I said Dark Elves. I actually have a team in Moot, Dark Elf team that is doing sort of okay, I guess it's fair to say.
How are you feeling about that one? Have you made a decision about next season yet, or is that a
I've
bit too
made a
early?
very clear decision that depending on if next, so if we get to keep the teams from the old current version to the new version, then I'm switching next season. If we're not,
Okay.
then next season will be the last season that these teams gets, and I think then it would be
Okay.
sort of a shame to have an orc team that has played all but the last season.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That
So
is fair enough. But
so it even if it gets to be 2 seasons, then I'm switching. Yeah. So I think, so since we have half a season left at this point, and then we have a season, then it becomes a question of, I think likely there is not going to be 2 more seasons after this season. What I mean is, but I think this season plus 1 is definitely given, right? Much more than that, I think is questionable. I like that the elves is going for it here.
absolutely.
Yeah, balls to the wall and just. It also makes it
So
harder
so
for the orcs.
so going back to that, because I haven't kept my eye on the Cyanide Discord or anything recently. Have they got dates for the new version and stuff like
Of
that? Or
course not. Okay,
no?
so
Okay.
I've been doing software development for 30 years, and you would never give a hard date this far out. That being said, I think that that you should probably think there's a good chance that it will be mids. I think if I was a betting man and had to make a wager on this, oh, that's sort of important out there. Is that we might get to play another season, but I'm just not for my planning going to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That was that risk we talked about that the elves were going to have to take.
So I guess there's also a risk then that we get halfway through a season. Is that right then?
Yeah, that I think is the, at least from my point of view, the bigger risk that we get sort of like halfway.
Yeah.
And therein, I'm happy that I'm not a commissioner and have to rake my head of how that we solve that. I'm thinking, this is purely me speculating here, so take it for nothing more than that, which is that I think that it would be possible to continue this old version, and then there will be a new version coming out. So just like that, you can actually still play Blood Bowl 2 at this point. We would still be, yeah, it goes down there.
It's still difficult to cover for Wurzner.
Oh, that's an important removal.
Helps. Yeah.
And that bounce, wow, that was
recovery. Yeah.
Wow, how things have changed in one punch. But yeah. Yeah, my biggest question is it gonna be possible to transfer anything over, or does everything have to be recreated in the new edition? And I'm thinking that it will have to be recreated. So most likely my guess is that we will play this season, we will play next season, and then depending on how far out the new game version is, that either we'll wait a week or two or whatever for the release, or we will start a new season and finishing that up in the current game, and then once that season's over, switch over to the new game. That would be my sort of guessing. And I don't think that we will be recreating teams from one to, so we will have a new seeding season. That would be my guess.
Yeah. I was just thinking of recreating and checking off 144 teams from a big guy point of view.
Yeah, well, it's also like, how do you then accommodate for randoms, and how do you accommodate for rule changes and so on. So for example, I haven't been following, actually on purpose, the new rules coming out so much, in that sense that to more focus on the current rules, not try to remember what is the new and the old rules. But there is certain skills that are definitely getting changed, and then should we then allow the players to change those, or is it? There is potential a winning. Wow, Corn is having a field day here at the end. There is injuries left, right, and center. There is actually a touchdown on both ends on the table here at this point. One more theoretically than the other. Yeah, that's not what worse than I was hoping for there.
That's still a 3+, isn't it?
Yeah, the more problem is, like, if you dodge out here, right, and you fail, the ball is on the ground somewhere where you really don't want it.
Yeah.
And then elves could do their magic and win the match, right? But yeah. Balls to the wall and... Oh. Oh!
Okay.
Oh, I just saw it go out of side here in the middle. I was like, no, if you're gonna go down here, that's like that. Yeah. Oh, that would have been horrible. Yeah, Bushra, you're completely right. I think some teams would be very easy to move over. I think a lot of teams would also just be happy to to trade custom skills, random skills for pick skills, like take the team value hits and stuff like that. But I think my guess is that the commissioners is going to say like let's just start from scratch. That would be my guess. But we can probe one of the commissioners if when he joins us. So there's a chance that we can get a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And I think this might be Worston's first draw, I think. Or is it second?
Look at the table. Second draw of the season, yeah. He's still unbeaten, though.
Yeah.
20 points after
that is
8
pretty,
games. Pretty good going.
Oh, that is definitely good going. Also, in let's be fair, a fairly competitive division.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see, what should we go for here?
Should we check back? Oh, okay.
We can check back.
I'm just thinking of my. I'm just thinking of my predictions. To be honest with you, it's a show. It's a show for chat. And I'm sitting here trying.
So this is one of my predictions that has gone so well this season.
Exactly. Yeah. No humility on this end at all.
No. I would actually put it this way. I find it very impressive that you make 3 hard predictions, 2 soft predictions, and none of them has made it to the top half. That is talent. That is maybe not the talent you're looking for, but it's definitely a talent.
Yeah. I've been waiting all season for which division is that? Is this one of the Altdorfs, isn't it?
It's this one.
Is it Altdorf East? Oh, is it this one? Yeah.
Yeah. I predicted that LA Plate Gamer here would actually, I think, second or third place. I think I put him in, and I think he's at 10. And though he might actually put some points on the scoreboard for me if he wins this match.
He might do. But yeah, for most of the season within our message group, it's been, it'll pick up Archangel. Don't worry about it. It'll pick up.
Yes.
It just hasn't. It's got worse.
It's pretty impressive. It's like I think after the first 2 weeks, it's like it bad luck. We're getting out of Starcade. This does matter. Then it was like week 5, 6, and it's still 0 points. It was like, no, this is not gonna get any better, is it? No, but yeah, that's pretty impressive in that sense, but not in a good way. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's gonna be really hard for these undead to stop that touchdown, though. More question if they can make one afterwards. I think. Though I think, wow, it's a strength 4 ghoul. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, then it might not be that hard to get to that ball.
Yeah, it's a 3+ with reroll and a hit on a naked player.
Yeah. Yep, the dodge is made. Well, that's not a down. Well, it's a down of the wrong kind.
Oh dear me. Oh dear me. Oh dear me.
So tell me, guys, how bad can it go? Well, it can go this bad.
I think this looks like a stall out now as well.
Yeah.
He's gone for the score.
My graphics, it looked like he was going for the score too, and then it was like he moved over the line, and then he pushed him back. It was like, oh, okay, that's yeah. I think we're gonna do some let's call it cleaning a house and stalling it out.
Yeah. Okay, so this is all west, yeah?
Yeah.
Have a look at the table here.
Yeah. That will definitely help me. I need to do that there. Could have a quick peek back at this one and just see if the rain is still going, and the elf has made a run for it. The corn is starting to take some attrition. Yeah, that's not. getting to almost that point where it's like if you Chaos Renegades here, do you think you can win, or should you opt for the safer bet and at least try to stall out as much time as possible? Oh, I think we should. I would go for the touchdown. Like, Lala Proud is down to one reroll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not it's Slaanesh. That's a rare choice of allegiance, which I think is even more cool. Yeah, I think Lala Proud definitely. Oh, that's a brave move.
Yeah, what? That's right, Maximus.
Yeah. No. I don't think it's part of the rules per se. It's part of the fluff, but I don't think. Yeah. Oh my god. Blitz. More. Dodge out with that one. And then put this guy in here. Surf. Yeah, why not? What's on here?
Yeah.
Trolls on the ground. Get him up. Get him up. Get him down there. That's not good. Yeah, I might change things a little bit. Yeah. Because he's a real threat.
Yeah.
Can you change? Oh,
I mean,
didn't know that it was a game for the tabletop, but yeah. And now it's a really good question. What do you go for?
I'd be.
Yeah, I think, and then in here, and then
Yeah.
I think that's what we're gonna see in a second here. It's a little risky, but I think it's the. Well, okay. I I don't like we closing off that many exit paths and stuff like that. So over here, at least here, I think would have been a good call. Well, here's the question: if you were Lala Pro, would you try to step in here?
With that guy, yeah.
Yeah, definitely dodging out there.
Yeah, because that wrestle guy is really the only. It's pals only for the rest of them. I don't think I can see it. Oh, there is a tackle player, but he's
Yeah,
halfway on the halfway line.
yeah. Yeah, you gotta take the push. No? I would probably take the push. I would wanna move as many of my
Yeah,
pieces
because
down here towards
you
this
need
end.
bodies back, don't you? You need bodies back at this point.
Yeah, because like
Yeah, you
well,
need players back towards the touchdown zone.
yeah, to apply pressure. Yeah,
So
Maximus.
these guys are quite similar in Prem West, aren't they? They've similar records, similar place in the table.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think the I was gonna say the bigger difference is that Little Proud is the first season in Prem, and I think it's Axel's third.
yeah.
Hello, Phil. I'm surprised that you're not on comms instead.
Hey, Phil.
I think he might just be sitting up still. Yeah, and this is again the cost of going so far to the sideline. And now we return the favor. Yeah.
Hey, Phil. How you doing?
Very well.
Good.
Everyone's always better after a Kinder Bueno.
Absolutely.
I always find.
Just gonna adjust your sound here a little bit. Can you say something more so I get the volume right here?
Never trust stairs. They're always up to something.
They'll lead you on. Yeah, that's very good to have you.
If you like that one, folks, I've got some great jokes about elevators. They work on so many levels.
God, I'm almost missing that you start talking about food.
That's some rough dice there.
Oh yeah.
I really wish they would fix this bug, by the way, about you know,
Which
it
dice you see
looking like
pick?
you're selecting.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I know no one's ever picking the skull, but it's just more annoying than anything else.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And
I have done. I've done it in a rush before, to be honest with you. So, pick the wrong dice. But yeah, it is very annoying when you're watching a replay.
also when you're playing the game, like, and the thing that I don't get is like it should be such a simple thing to fix. It's not the hardest thing, right? So it's like why haven't you fixed it yet? But I think in all fairness, we were talking about this, Phil, before you joined. Like, I think that might be because they're focusing more on the new edition than they are on patching up this one at this point already.
Possibly, you are absolutely right. And I just wonder. I'm assuming you've been live now for about half an hour. Kind of, if you'd like to briefly summarise what you've thought about what potentially could be coming in a new edition.
We haven't actually
Well, we
talked
were
too much about the rules changes. We more talked about like how it would impact, how to say, UKBBL's seasons and stuff like that. And at least from my point of view, there's still a lot of information that is sort of still not completely written in stone enough to that we can sort of make educated cases. But you being a commissioner, right? Of course, you would know this, right?
I mean, I think it's more of a case of like just see what comes out from the rule set. I think you just have to we just have to wait and see. I mean, I'm curious about what we think might happen in the rules. You know, what other new teams we might get. Obviously, it's or more not the new teams we would get, because we know that that's going to be the case. We're going
Brits.
to get other new teams, but what's going to change with the existing teams, or what's going to change with, you know, some of the skills? I'd like to see some skills either merged or reworked, or just
I
something to just freshen it up a little bit. I
oh
think kind of
I
everything has kind of we've now kind of settled into a pattern
yeah
about how the game is played, and I'd just like to see something that just, you know, much like I'm going to confess that I've been playing a lot of well, Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon, and spent a small fortune playing that. But one of the things I've liked the idea of with that, you know, collectible card game, trading card game, is that the meta will change every year when they move things on. So it'll be nice to see something different happen, even if it's just slight.
I think from what I've seen so far, I'm surprised of, lack of a better word, how restrained they have been to changes. I would have predicted more of a change to the games than so far what I've seen. And that's better. That's both good and bad. I was really concerned of what sort of, if they did a huge change to everything, what that would look like. And I was not sure if I was going to like that. Of the changes I've seen so far is small increments more than anything. And so
yeah.
So far it seems pretty good, like for what I've seen, which is not something I'm accustomed to saying when it comes to Games Workshop. And so in that sense, I think that's really good. I think the meta could really do with a bit of a shake-up, but I don't think we're going to get it. And that is both good and bad. But I think it's also sort of connected to the fact that if you ask the community on what we would like to have changed, you will not get one answer. You will get lots and lots of different answers.
Yeah, I think it's obviously reflective of, who plays what and what they feel
they
think their team that they play needs. Obviously, I'm fairly pro things that would help elves at higher TV levels, I think is probably the thing, or the taking away and denying of all teams being able to have elves when they're not elves. I think that's the thing I would probably look for.
So there's definitely things I think would be huge beneficial, that would be small tweaks but really important tweaks, like saying, okay, yes, stat upgrades is possible, but a player can only get one in his all. You can only get one. You can, and then much more let you pick much more freely, but you're only getting one. Like you are seeing that a lot of in the UKBBL, where those, I like superstar legends. It's not that sense, but it's when you're looking at 3 stat upgrades basically on more or less on any player, then it's not that player anymore. And whether it's those elf ghouls or Godagon rule ghouls, or whatever you want to call them, or stuff like that, it really tweaks the game in a different direction. I'm not saying it's all bad, but I'm just saying it's definitely tweaks the game, and I think that would be a simple change and will do a lot. I would personally also really love to see in a way to help the elves that passing skills. Well, let's see if I can remember. Passing skills, catching skills are allowed to be used after the team reroll, meaning that you actually get to redo 3 dice for passing and catching, meaning that you get much more similar stats to how often a pass fails to how often a block fails. Not as good as a block, but close to. Because the biggest problem I see for elves in similar teams is that there is just a 1 in 36 chance for every critical action, and that's just too often. And I think that would really help, but I don't think we're going to see that, because it's a change at the core level of the game. There's a lot of the skills that could do with the rebalancing. I think we will spend the next year debating which and how much and stuff like that, but I think most of us could agree on at least the skills. I like the new kickoff event table. It seems much more balanced. But yeah, I also like the new picking up option. I think it's a little bit too kind, but I think it definitely will help.
Which one's the pick me up? Is that the?
It's the 2+ you pick up the ball. Doesn't matter.
I hate that. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was actually Mathimas, or it was LittleWing I was discussing with prior to that. They announced it, that I would like to see that, but it would cost you the whole turn. So if you were standing next to the ball, you get to move 1 square onto the ball, and you pick the ball up on 2+. But you spend your whole action on it, nothing else, and there had to be no players around that ball. So it was sort of like you can do it, but it's really expensive. But I've seen also too many games where it's like, you can't pick up the ball. Why? Because you rolled the one for the 5th time in a row, right? But that is dice, right?
Yeah. I mean, I will just put out as a great comment by Ceramol, who
Yeah.
I got the pleasure of playing against this year at the UKBBL TT. Tickets still available for that, folks, for next year. In the fact that just find the comment again because it's just come off the screen. But I did like it. Just depends on what the design is, where the game should go. Like, there's quite a lot of discussion around balancing, but not sure that's always the route to the best game. And actually, I think there's quite a lot of truth in that. You don't necessarily need to have a balanced game, because one of the things about this game is you can play on a different difficulty level
Yeah.
if you want. And I actually really like that. You know, if I want to play something difficult, I can play Corn, for example.
Yeah.
Or I can play Stunty if I want a really, really difficult challenge.
Oh yeah.
I really like that about the game.
I like that, but I think for me it's more a question of there is structural imbalances that twist the game too much in certain directions, and I think that is a bigger problem. I think Sermal is very much correct in the sense also there's a huge thing about like in what direction should this game move, because if you're looking at the NAF style way of playing Blood Bowl, that is a very certain way of playing Blood Bowl. And some people really love that, and kudos for them. I think it's like the kid version of the game, but that's a separate discussion and maybe a little bit of a hot take, I know. But and then there's progression, right? Like continuous play, building up teams and stuff like that. And I think the problem is that they're sort of caught in right now is that they're trying to do both and not really succeeding in either. And it's really also a hard balancing act, balancing for both. On one hand, a game that is with progression, experience points, leveling up, and it's still also meant to be like a super competitive, close system where everything is perfectly equal to everything. Are we telling stories and that, or are we making a perfect competitive game? And you will not get a clear answer for the community.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can create the perfect game. I just want to check, is it just me who's getting Archangels?
Only getting Archangels. What? Did we lose Phil?
I think we lost Phil.
Huh.
Go for. So you won't be able to hear me.
Now we can hear you again.
Because it's buffering.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now. There's been a network error. Well, there we go.
Well, that's probably why.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're obviously trying to get a game to kind of stretch over lots of different things, but I did see there's a gentleman in my group, very good player, believes that you can't really make this like a true competitive game because you've just got so much variability in it. You know, if you play something like chess where the only variable is, you know, white goes first, and so white wins more games than black does.
That was a bit bad dice there, yeah.
Yeah,
but
that wasn't great.
Yeah, but I think I don't need it to be perfectly balanced. I've played other games like competitive games where there was like this week's patch for updating numbers because we're still trying to tweak it, and even then it's never perfectly balanced. And I don't think that's the right path forward. I just more see as in there's certain structural issues, which is there is certain things that just much more rewards bashing play than ball playing teams, and that is a structural issue. You can look at all the weather types. What does all the weather types? It makes it harder to play the ball. Well, where's the one that makes it harder to bash the shit out of my opponent? Oh, there isn't. Oh, what is the odds of doing a block action? That is 136 in 136 odds of that failing. What is the odds of any passing, movement, dodging, anything? It's always 1 in 36. that's 36 times more likely to fail. That is, in my opinion, a structural issue. That could easily be addressed, and that's more of a. It's still a balancing issue, but it's a balancing issue of what it is that you want to see happening in the field, and there's clear preference towards let's have more bashing than there is a let's have some more playing the ball around. I get why ball play should never be as safe as making a block, but I think it's too far in that direction.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, it is fairly obvious that passing got hugely nerfed in the last
Oh yeah,
iteration. Um, I was just also just thinking about this game. Just going to go back to what we're going. I did see a not sure about the reroll from Mark there. I've got to say I'm going to agree.
yeah,
Feels like you might want that reroll on this turn.
yeah,
But yes, no, I take your point. I feel that one of the things about elves and the fact that they were able to progress is you could do some vanity passing
Yeah,
with players to put some star player points on them.
yeah,
There's regularly games with elves that I play where the only star player points I get is the touchdown and the MVP.
mm-hmm.
And it's a lot harder to progress your team. Whereas if you're playing a bash side and you're throwing a lot more blocks and you're going to get some star player points
Yeah,
that way. Yeah, there's always a chance that you're going to get more star player points. But
yeah,
then again, I'm saying that with the fact that I've won a tabletop league this year with elves, albeit at high TV levels. But then again, I've had the reverse. I played the lovely Melton Mudpackers of. I'm going to use their Discord name. I'm just going to make sure I get this right. Because I know their real name, but obviously I've been told don't use real names on here. I know it begins with L. Loserville, the lovely Loserville.
yeah.
So he was playing Snotlings with Morg and Hackflem.
Oh yeah,
I was playing Dark Elves. I dackered for 4 turns.
yeah.
I didn't roll dice for 4 turns, and I will describe to you what happened for the remaining 8 turns that we actually rolled dice on. I stopped rolling dice on turn 12. I double wand a dodge, armor break, injury, badly hurt. So next turn, Morg. Oh, this was on a Blodge Step Blitzer. Next turn, Blitz from Morg, Pow, armor break, injury, dead. So that's not even a full turn, and I'm down 2 blitzers. Basically, there's a pattern where I I lose a dark elf almost every turn, and I'm playing I essentially lose my drive because I failed to hand off on a double one. I had like 3 re-rolls left, and I just didn't get the re-roll. But that happens. To say it is a dice game, and you can't.
Oh, I've
We can't fully balance it, but
no,
it
no,
did
no,
make me feel great on the day.
no,
And
no, but
I'm not feeling I'm in my low point with Blood Bowl at the moment. I've got 2 games tomorrow, which I will look forward to on the tabletop. So I'm playing. Oh, sorry, not on the tabletop. On the UKBBL, so I'm playing my conference game. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing next season. I've got no. This is the first time I think on Blood Bowl 3. I have no idea what I'm doing.
yeah,
I could re-roll. I could keep the Zons from the conference. I could keep my Dark Elves. I genuinely don't know what I'll do.
no.
I would probably say getting relegated would
Oh,
encourage me to keep my Dark Elves.
yeah.
Because I can then rebuild them.
Well, this was part of what we were talking about earlier as well. Is if there's a reset coming, because I was thinking the same. chucking in the dwarfs for the dark elves that I've got in moot. But if we've got like a season and a half before the reset, or maybe 2 half seasons in a season, sort of may as well roll them
Well,
through to
I'm
that.
I'm gonna say, folks, I'm extremely pessimistic that you will see a updated version of the game before Christmas. We'll have the new version released on the tabletop. I would be very, very surprised to see it released on Blood Bowl 3 before Christmas. That was actually quite a key game, by the way. We were watching, weren't we? It
Yeah.
was two teams kicking around the mid of Premiership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prem West. Both of those teams, had they have won, would have put themselves right in the hunt for second. Obviously, we've got this disgusting Orc team that have run away with it again.
Evil lies spread by the opposition.
The Archangel. Yeah. But I don't think a draw does really anything for either of them. With only, is it 3 games left now? 4 games?
We about
4
to
games left?
we got I'm meaning Fantas here for round 7, right? No, we just finished 7, right? We moved. Oh,
We're just finishing 7, yeah. So we've got 4 rounds left. So Fantas has got to play you. I mean, that could end in a. I'd probably put that as a draw.
good chance
Maybe
of that.
a Fantas win. Maybe because of the Super Ghoul. It depends on kind of what the Super Ghoul does.
Yeah, I think from historical data, I think we have won. There's always been a winner, but it more or less 50-50 of who it is.
I'm just looking at who Fantas has actually got to play and whether I think Fantas can.
Fantas is playing me next round.
You know, even if he doesn't win against you, let's assume that he drops points and doesn't win.
He's got
Mark's
Mark.
team.
Yeah, match day.
I'm
9.
very interested to know what Mark's team is looking like, because obviously Mark's come up this season, and I've had a lot of turnover on my team, and I haven't been winning games, which means I haven't got star player points.
I think he's been doing pretty good as far as I remember, Mark.
Yeah, he's got a mighty blow tackle, which will always help.
Yeah. Shit. Let's do this the other way
There's a
around.
nice.
He's also got a
nice
very
witch.
tasty dark elf witch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether that's nicked in the mold of me or whether that's what he always does anyway. But I also like the pseudo war dancer build. So leap, strip ball, tackle, block. Yeah. That's very nice.
Yeah. It's pretty decent.
I just have lots of block and dodge and wrestle across my team, and not very much anywhere else.
Yeah, yours is more so like evenly spread, which is both good and bad.
Yeah, it's I've needed the MVPs to drop in certain places, and they have not been dropping in certain places, and because I haven't been winning games, I haven't been scoring, means that I haven't been able to put SPP on the blitzers, which is where I want them, or the witch elves. It's a case of, well, we're also trying to get enough points to stay up, so
yeah,
we'll just score on who's available rather than who we'd want, and that's also the great challenge of elves. You have a person as well. You can't just score with anybody to make them.
I think also there is a lack of a better word for it. There's when you get up to a division where you're struggling, and we will all do that eventually, like whether that's in the forest or in Prem, that doesn't really matter. But when you start to struggle, you will have a harder time to build your team, because when you're having easy matches, well, I can get the ball over to this other player and make the build and my team go on. But if you are like tooth and nail trying to get that draw in or whatever, you don't have the luxury of going like, I should probably put these star player plans on this player. No. It's all about just getting that ball in the touchdown zone, right? And I think it's quite common to see for a lot of the Prem teams that once you sort of get up to Prem, in lack of a better word, development sort of gets stunted very heartily, and it becomes much more about survival. And then that's also why there's a lot of teams that comes up in Prem who sort of then have to go down in Oldorf to sort of rebuild, get the star players back on the right players, and then be able to come back up in Prem again. Because if you are tooth nailing it, even if like it's the same for Moldov, it's not a Prem thing. It's just more a question of like when you get your team to wherever that team's going to start to struggle, that is when you'll see that it gets much harder to sort of develop it the way you want. Whereas if you are playing in a league that is lower than what you probably should be, then it's much easier to build a team the way you want it to do, because you just have that luxury. Like I think in my last,
We're also like I'm so I've just taken myself as an example.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at any of these games and gone, well, there's 3 points there and I can score when I want. So for the record,
yeah,
I have Tapestry tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lizard King.
Oh yes.
Then I've got Arctic Antarctic, whose orcs have struggled, but I know that like Arctic Antarctic knows exactly what he's doing, and that team is pretty gruesome.
Oh yeah.
We move on to match day 9, and we then play Elven Union and Bearded Oath. And again, they can score when they want, if they want, when they want to.
Yeah.
Locustar, who's kicking around at the top. That's another orc side.
Yeah.
And then to polish off, I have to play the Stallions. So it's all fun and games up in the Prem.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, like someone will have the same in Oldorf, someone will have the same in Hills, right? It's that thing where it's like you can sort of feel that you're pushing your team against the bounds of what it can do, and you just don't get to have like you can generally look at it this way: if you have more matches than not, where it's like I can do as many touchdowns as one, I can basically score whenever I want to, and I can score on who I want to. Then you're probably going to advance sooner or later. That's just a given, right? And if you are having all your matches being like I'm just hoping that I don't get to be crushed. Like I need my players to survive. I need to maybe secure even a draw. That would be nice. Then the development of your team is going to get really stunted, right? And that's, I think, also one of the reasons, let's be fair, like why is this orc team doing so much better than, let's say, so many of the other teams? It is because once you also get to that point where you have the luxury of not having to fight tooth and nail in all your matches, and you can still win, then you can still do some development. And I think Fantas's team, my team, is clearly some of those teams where, like in Prem West at least, where you can see like there's still some development going on, and then you get some nasty goals like this, right? Like there's just like they should not be possible, but because you can keep enough momentum and building, you get this stuff. And I think having an assumption here that it's more or less the same in Premier East, right?
I do feel like you've got, like in the Prem West, you've kind of got two. I've been listening to, and again, I've given this guy a plug on this already. Arbiter Ian, who does really good lore on YouTube, you can go and listen to yourself. So he's done a Drakari lore primer.
Yeah.
I do feel it's a little bit sort of the same in like the Prem West is kind of like Comora. You have the high city where you have the trueborn sons, at the top there, doing all their things, and then you have the low city where people are just kind of trying to scrape a living.
Oh yeah.
And I think you kind of have two groups there.
Oh yeah, there's
as mere mortals just trying to scrabble up,
Oh yeah.
crumbs in the gutter.
I'm fairly sure if we were to have a discussion with Arctic or Bearded Oath or Snow Troll, right, they would probably be saying like any touchdown, any star player point is really welcome, right? Like anything is great, because let's be fair, like this end of the table is not fun to be in, right? But I
We just see, if you look, they've all got the same issue, all of them. So from myself down, apart from Arctic Antarctic, myself, casualties 4-8, casualties against 10. Waldorf, casualties 4-7, casualties against 19. Snow Troll, 5 that's outrageous for a Lizard Men team. 5 casualties, 11 against.
Yeah, I mean,
Bearded Oak.
if you go to Premise, look at Scouse Boys, Lizard Men, if you want to see a horror show of casualties.
Yeah, that's
minus 19.
That's rough.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. He's really.
But I mean, it's the same. Like you look at yours, LittleWing. Like it's 8-4, 13 against. You're
Yeah,
playing dwarves.
I know.
There's no apart from the Necro of Dragon's Bane. There's no claw in there. Like, I mean, I know you've got to have. You will obviously have, but that's a difference of 5 across. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tough season, but I think it's more than. I mean, I've struggled with the fact that there's so much strength in Prem East, so you are giving up far many more blocks than you're dishing out. So there is a reason for that. But yeah, I mean, I had a pretty bad start to the season, but it's sort of picking up a little bit now. But what you were talking about, guys, like that clawing for every SPP and point has been, my experience every time I've gone up to the Prem since being in UKBBL, and it is not a nice place to be in. But I guess it's is it called the Peter Principle, when you get a sort of promoted above your ability or team's ability? I think that's at play there.
So at least the way that I've been explained the Peter syndrome is that in generally you have it, especially in large companies, where everyone gets promoted until you end up in a position that you're not qualified in. And the problem is that in a big company, like having one Peter is not the issue, but the problem is you end up with Peters everywhere, and then you have like a really big issue. But yeah, but I think if you have a little bit,
we're all Peter, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
that's
oh yeah, but I think it's the thing that you talked about. Like it's sort of interesting if we look at the players who are getting the most points. Not saying that they are by the best players, but those who are least struggling. Generally, if you can get the points, it means you're not struggling, right? Like if I go to the bottom of this list and go like, oh, you got not that many points, then you're probably struggling a lot. And the thing that I find interesting is if you look at those, yes, there is a huge casualty surplus on many of them, but there is also quite a few of them that do not have a surplus. They have a deficit. There's more with a plus, of course, yes, but there's also players with a deficit up here. And I guarantee you, if I go to the bottom, there is more of a deficit, and there's few players down here that has a surplus, right? So there's clearly some connection between, like, if you're doing well, you'll probably both be rewarded both with touchdowns and with more casualties because you're doing well.
Minus 25 from Bushranger. That's fantastic. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many sausages have been enjoyed.
Yes. And I think that's when, especially when you start getting like large data sets like this. I think it's really interesting to start deep diving, and you can see like certain aspects of like, okay, so if you look at the people who are playing, getting the most touchdowns, there seems to be some people who probably are, let's call it, bashing their way to the touchdowns, and there's some people who are playing their way to the touchdowns. And it seems that both paths are possible, but there seems to be a little bit more of a descent. So either you are really bashing your way to those touchdowns, or you're playing your way to your touchdowns. That seems to be the path for that sort of a strategy, right? And then there's people.
Sometimes I think it's just a case of not taking lots, because actually, if you look at those higher ones, I wouldn't expect like Itchin's Wood Elves to have a positive thing, but you kept it to -3 from 6 games.
Yeah.
So you've probably not been behind on players in many of those.
No,
which I think is really important.
Yeah.
So,
but
perhaps it's a case of just how these players are playing versus maybe how the players who were
but
struggling
then
playing.
if you're looking at just example, so Idjin's Wood Elves versus Mal's Dark Elves, right? They are both at a deficit of 3, but one has made 7 and taken 10, and one has made 12 and taken 15. So I'm just purely guessing from these numbers, and that is just purely looking numbers, that I think Itchin is playing much more bashing and much more in your face, and gets those more casualties, but also takes more casualties. Whereas I would imagine that Mal is more of a type of player who is standing off. That also means that he gets to do less damage, but it also means he takes less damage. So I think like when you get to like this size of data set and this, then you start to see like I think interesting things. You can also see the same like over here. There's some people who bash that's a lot of them, but it's not all of them that takes equally measure of damage in the opposite direction. There's some people who are just bashing Senjo, the living daylights out of their opponents, but not taking much damage for it. And there's people who are like underworlds who are taking as much as they're giving and just really don't care, right? 18 injuries. Yeah, well, I've taken 28, so that seems to be fair, right? But yeah, but that it also I think especially when you're also then looking at it like this, where you go like there's a clear difference between how the different divisions work, right? So especially if you look at Prem East, 19% of the matches is wins or losses, and only 10% are draws. And if you go to Aldorf, it's almost 30% of the games that are draws. I don't know why that is, but I find that very interesting that there's such a clear night and day difference. Like that there's a difference between how many touchdowns that's being scored and there seems to be Mott and Prem West, because they have so much in common that seems to be where the touchdowns are, and somehow East is just don't like to score.
Counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's counterintuitive that the lowest touchdown rate has the highest. Well, maybe
yeah. So I think this
Defense on top.
this sort of makes sense to me, but I would have imagined that then it would either should have been Prem, Aldorf, Hills, Woods, or the other order of those. But it seems like it's completely shattered. Like there's no clear pattern here. But there is just some people like I know 0.19 and minus 1.6 isn't huge, but when you average that out over many matches, then it becomes a huge difference. Like if you total up that number of touchdowns.
What game are we currently on, by the way? Just while we
we are covering Blitzy and DK Max.
So I think we might just want to just head over to Preston as Fantas is playing Waldorf at the moment.
Yeah.
It's turn 7. The ball is loose. It looks like it may have been Fantas's drive. I'm going to say it was Fantas's drive, considering Waldorf's 1-0 up.
Yeah, that's at least what I saw last.
Looks like the ball's been, and obviously this is quite important for playoffs.
Oh yeah,
he's going to get that second place.
So Waldorf would have turned over and scored on defense.
No, it looks like he's scored early.
Yeah,
he's decided to score early.
Oh yeah, okay.
He had a send off and an injury, so he wanted to refill.
Loosen the ball.
I think
Looks like he's possibly gone for it with the thrower.
Yeah, I would.
It's a very nice thrower, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that catcher is also quite nice. Oh, big screen. Sorry. Yeah, let's see if I can do that correctly. Thank you, chat, for mentioning that. Super cool. To
Here
the
comes the
rescue.
super goal.
Yeah. I think he's happy with that. I think he just won that tackle away.
He didn't need a 6 to pick that up.
Now it becomes a better question. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not much you can do that way around.
Two, three.
That's not ideal.
No. But I don't think it's so important.
But he did it, the push was needed.
Yeah.
Interesting choice to follow it up.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done that.
Well, it's only a movement 6.
6. Take root.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting that he didn't. Well, I know why he hasn't used pro because it's his last turn.
Yeah.
Cindy's already off.
Yeah. I think the humans are gonna have a hard time stopping that ball carrier here. Clearly we can attack it, but attacking it's not really gonna help. Well, we can always try to uphill it, but we can actually get a soul dice.
You're not.
There it goes attacking. 5,
You can't reach, can
6, 7, 8, 9. We're missing 1 to bring it down.
You've got to jump through multiple tackle zones, haven't
you? Yeah,
but
but then you need to cut
that's 4 plus 5 plus. I think I worked out and a rush with no rerolls.
Yeah. Well,
I almost might have just let this go, to be honest, if I was Waldorf.
Yeah. Though I would say,
another day.
I've noticed when I play in Waldorf, he does play, let's call it balls to the wall, and so I would not be surprised if he tries.
But you're playing old world. Why wouldn't you just kind of?
Why wouldn't you?
just go for it.
I also know that he is retiring this team to play Vampires next season, so there's not, let's call it the long perspective.
Him and 50% of the rest of the league.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, we said that about Zons when they came out. I wonder how it actually goes.
I think there's 4 sons. I think it's Zons.
I think vampires are far superior to Zons in this setup.
Yeah.
Like vampires will get super obnoxious in our league.
Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense.
So what's he going to do? Try and rush it onto the...
He can't even do that now.
No.
Yeah. Go Dwarf Blitzer.
Kill him. Kill the dead people. On the armor.
This is the other thing I find really hard about playing against undead, and I've said it loads of times on stream. You're never playing against anything less than 11, ever.
It's rare. It's really rare, and I think going back to this, we talked about the game balance earlier. I still also think that the regen is too good, but that's been a issue since they created it at the beginning. It's been a recurring issue. At least it's not 2+ anymore, but might as well be.
Yeah. I mean, I know Decay is an old skill and Khemri or Tomb Guardian, Tomb King's base, but sort of would make sense to have it on the undead as well.
I think this is at least the idea I've been bouncing around my head with is to say, like, sure, the mummies and the weaks can get 4+ region, but the skeletons and zombies only get 5+. So that you are at least forced to bring more players, and thereby also upping your team value. And ooh, that's going to be missed.
I don't think he appos that. I don't think he appos that.
I don't think he will either.
No. There you go.
Yeah. Because we will have a look at the races later, but one of the things that is really telling is the placement of all the regeneration teams. Because it can be, you can clearly see it in the stats.
They do better on average than the Apo teams. Yeah.
It definitely, when it comes to casualties generation and warding off, because they need fewer players, and on top of that, they don't have an APOC, so already you are 50k lighter than everyone else.
Yeah.
So not only do you get that your players only get half the removals, meaning you need fewer players to have constantly 11 players, but you also get 50k bonus cheaper than everyone else on top of that. And on top of that, just in case that was enough perk for you, if opponent player dies, you get a free player mid-game, which is an insane rule.
Yeah.
Like, give them
That
an
has to be one of my least favorite rules.
Oh yes, I think it thematically it makes good sense that they can get it after the match. Perfectly fine. Get them for free and everything. I don't mind that. But the problem, the fact that they get it mid-game, it's like, so technically they can have 17 players. Oh, okay, fair enough. If one of their player dies and is removed from the roster, they can then have a 16 new player, and thereby having had 17 players for the match. Thank you. That seems fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Appos should just come free, and to again, like, compensate for that. That would make all non-region teams 50k comparably cheaper than the region teams. But that's talking about changes that we probably will not see in the new edition. I will more or less guarantee you that won't be there, but I think it should be. I think it's also why they made it so that at the redraft you get that thing for keeping your APOC, because they could see that there is a discrepancy.
Yeah.
This Blitzer's dead. This Blitzer's getting fouled into oblivion.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
That dwarf is going to get fouled into oblivion.
Yeah. Well, it's almost a question more or less like, you're not going to foul this instead. No, you're not. You can't get in there. Well, you
Unless you knock
could.
the tree down.
Well, you could technically go up here and then foul in through here. But being the Mighty Blow player there, I don't think that's a good trade.
Well, the fact that he's just moved the Blitzer back like that, I think says,
yeah,
what's happening.
But yeah, I think also was sorry for, but like we talked about, like this thing about like the value of multiple stats up on some same player.
I don't think you can take away multiple stats. I just think you need to take away the ability to choose it.
So you think it's better that those who are lucky to get a good combination of random skills is should be rewarded more?
Well, I think you try and think about my justification of this. I'm going back to I didn't necessarily think that the way that the skills were done in the last edition was bad. I didn't think that the way that they were rolled for was a bad thing. Just shows, like, how they've learned from different things and their experience. There's kind of the thematic side of the game. I think that's good. You could also argue thematically, well, if you get to choose, it shows what you're working on in games and working on in training, blah, 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 blah. I would just like to see a more of a random element, and because it's random for everybody, yeah, you might get lucky, but you're probably unlikely to get lucky twice. And
Oh
you could
yeah.
even do it as a well, it's a random at the current stat level. And what I'm saying is it's not a random you get a skill like it is. I'm saying it's a random that you're able to choose a
Random, you
stat.
get to choose. I will have to say you will need to explain that concept to me because that sounds contradictory to me.
So
Random, I choose.
currently you would spend the number I've got in my head is 28. That's probably because that's for the second skill.
Yeah.
Say you spend 28 star player points.
Yeah.
You have some dice results that come up blank, so they just don't get anything. And what you're able to then do is spend it on a secondary or a primary.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So instead of it being a D16, you make it a D30, and you have, I'm trying to pick an arbitrary number
Oh,
here.
so it's
18,
more a question of
18 of them comes up blank.
yeah.
I don't know.
So it's more a question of that it's what you get offered. Like you could get this stat upgrade. Do you want it? Wow, this is all balls to the wall. I love it.
I mean, the halfling didn't die, so
Nope.
you know. I mean, if he gets the POW here, that's just brill. That's just fantastic.
That is game defining for this match.
I mean, you might as well go for it, right? You might as well.
Well, I think actually in this situation
Go on, little halfling.
it is the right thing to do because it's sort of like so close because if you wait, you'll basically just get bashed out slowly and steadily. Like there's no expectation that you can bash yourself into a good position in this matchup, right? So you need to make a daring move and just hope that it works. And this is not.
It's good. I love that play.
I like it too.
Good.
And I like the high pressure here.
I also think where the tree is annoying for Fantas.
Oh yeah.
Because the mummies have been separated.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I wondered on like the setup, would you actually go and you put the mummies on the same side, so at least they're together as a pair?
I think
I kind of thought, well, I kind of see the point of like if you put them together, it's obvious which side you're going to go down.
yeah, but
Like,
you could
why
also
would you not go down the side that has both mummies on it?
but
Right?
you could
So I
also
kind of thought that makes sense.
but you could also pick the fight with the tree because you are two mummies versus one.
This is true.
Whereas if you sort of need the mummies to fight the tree, right? Like I think the idea here was to just feed it a zombie and that'd be fine. I'm just trading a zombie for a tree. That's a good trade, right? But I think that's causing this split, which is bad.
So I like the follow up here.
Yeah.
With the mummy. I really don't know where Fantasy is going to go with this ghoul.
Yeah.
No, it's I was going to say like the biggest problem is like it's not getting away from here. It's just like where do you go? Do you want to be instead? Like this is here. I was going to say like over here is probably the safest area at the moment.
Sorry, I'm watching in Blood Bowl 3 and not via the stream. So yeah, I'd agree with you. Go to the right somewhere.
Yeah. That's so important that there. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
However, I will say the old world are also quite split now.
Oh yeah.
Both teams are quite good if they're together, but they tend to lose something when they're all kind of on their own. I would
Oh,
probably say particularly the old world, because you don't have any. Well, you have one roadblock and kind of that's it.
yeah.
He's got to leave it there. He's got to leave that player tagged. He can't not. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's not a choice I would have made.
Yeah, and push him to
Has
the
he still got
Mummy.
his blitz? Has he got a blitz? He's used it.
No, but used it on the Wicht to get over here.
Wow.
There was the 1-6.
Lucky power there, yeah.
And a removal. Damn. Yeah, you just gonna
Getting
eat
badly
that.
hurt though.
Yeah, you're gonna eat that. Yeah.
Just casually dodging out a 4+, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna take the. Yeah, wait, that. Is that a spawn?
Well, he might force the score. He could force the score.
Yeah, Waldorf's
I'm
a
not
bit out of
wild
position
about having
here.
9 old world against 13 undead though.
No,
It's a
but I
common
think
phrase that I know Waldorf is. Waldorf loves the word wild. I've started to use it in my lexicon, which is another Waldorf word to which he teaches me.
yeah, you gotta follow that. You almost have to blitz in here, as much as I hate to do it, and bring him down to just screen off some of the possibilities. No, we're not gonna do that. Oh, damn it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
You got Brawler. You got Brawler?
Yeah, but you can't use that on blitz.
Yeah.
Which
He
you
does have
probably
block,
you should probably be allowed to, because otherwise split brawl is not good enough. But that's a separate issue.
Possibly another little thing we can add to the wish list for the next season.
I actually once thought about like having trying to do a rework of all the rules myself and just for the funsies, like how they would. But I'm not sure how popular my suggestions would be.
It would just be nice to see passing get a buff. That's all, I think.
I think that's why like this is at least my home crafted version of saying like I would allow pass and catch to be rerolled after a team reroll, meaning that you both have to, you will have to spend the team roll before you get to use the other one, and then if you fail that, you can still use your catch skill or your passing skill, and it would also mean that having those two skills would actually matter and make a difference. But it also make it
that would make catch just really quite disgusting.
it would, but
Like,
you
no,
but
as in like it you just devalued catch. Like, I would like to be able to do it the other way and
so
and re-roll it after I failed the catch.
oh yeah no so
You,
the
you
idea
make
is
it like 1 in 216 rather than.
oh yeah, but the idea is like, let's say the ball is thrown and you're about to catch it. You roll a 1. That's your normal roll, right? Then you can either use your catch skill, and if you do, then you cannot use your team reroll after. But you get to use your catch skill, and it's a new roll, right? Or you can opt to use your team reroll, and if you use your team reroll, you can use your catch afterwards.
after. Yeah.
So that the cost you're paying is that, yes, you like, this is, I really need this card to work. I am willing to burn a reroll to more or less make it certain, but I have to pay the reroll up front. And then I get to do basically free rolls. Or I can make the reliable, but not cost me a reroll, and do my normal reroll. So how
So
important...
basically just make catch like Brawler.
Yeah. And thereby you have that catching and passing becomes 3 dice instead of 2, if you're willing to spend on it. And you would be, for that one scoring touchdown, I'll sacrifice that reroll for that. But it also means that then it becomes valuable. It's still a skill that you can use in that sense. Because the problem is, if you're allowed for catch and then to use rerolls after catch or passing, then I think it gets to be too reliable. There's not enough downside to it. Then it becomes a just must-have skill, and I'm not a big fan of that. Like I want it to be better, but not so good that it becomes like, yeah, you gotta have this.
Bill,
I think
going
there's
back to
some.
what you were saying about stats, the stat boosts earlier, I always got the sense from the previous edition or Blood Bowl 2 that everybody was sort of complaining about the randomness of rolling dice for stats, and that some teams would just get amazing luck on their skill ups, and then they were unbeatable against like a cookie cutter
I think
team. And you were halfway through explaining the what your idea was, and I was quite interested in that.
I think the old days, the problem was that there was some teams, some races that really relied on getting doubles, and if they didn't get the doubles, they were more or less, you had to scrap the team and start over because you just needed the doubles, and there were other teams who didn't. And in that sense, the luck became a really high factor, and also because certain stat upgrades were, compared to what they cost, it was just more question of could you roll them, and could you get the right combination of them. Whereas in the new system, because it's much more pick and choose, which I in certain ways like, but the problem is also it became very much, well, there's a optimal path to everything, a single optimal path. Whereas in the old system, it's like, I got 2 standard skills, that's really nice. Oh, I got a random. Oh, well, I don't really want a random now, but if I only pick a standard skill, should I not? Because it's not the next optimal step, or I really need a double, I'm just not getting it. And I think this is, at least from what I hear, is that a lot of people who don't like about the new system, it gets to cookie cutter in that it becomes too much the same. And I think the problem that they tried to fix that with was the introduction of the new random system, which it's a long explanation, but the short version is you should never use a different system and then break that to fix another system. And by making it that you're using inducement cost, as in team value cost, to induce people to use random, then you are just creating a different issue. 2 identical teams should always have the same team value. And they broke that by making this fix to the randomness. And that introduces other issues. And you can look at my orgs too if you want to see the downside of having fixing issues with the introduction of lowering the team value for that, because like, or at least they should have done something like yeah, sure, you can get a bit of discount, but you can only get like 30k max. That's as much as possible you can get a reduction for. Anything beyond that, that's just wasted. Something to limit it at least, because I think
there is an element though, is whatever system they put in place, and this is the same with everything, people will find the exploits, won't
oh,
they?
definitely, definitely. But let's just, I think on a fundamental level, I think most people would always agree on 2 identical teams should always have the same team value, right? Like otherwise, team value doesn't really make sense. So let's just so at least that as a separate point, just being like that should definitely just be that way, because everything else wouldn't make sense. Oh, it's a shame he regenerates.
We've got the sneaky get dirty player just regenning on a
yeah,
six,
and if he
casually.
Yes, and if he hadn't done that, he might have been out for my match. So clearly no bias in this.
Well, that was that would have been a badly hurt anyway. So you would
Yeah.
have been disappointed.
Yeah, but I sort of like the idea from Phil's. At least this was my interpretation. Is what you're rolling for is much more. So let's say you wanted. This is not what Phil's suggested, but like elaborating on it. Let's say I have a stand-up player. I want to give them block. Block is a fairly standard skill. It's fairly easy. I just need to roll, let's say, 3+ on the dice, and I will get it for this point cost. If I want to spend more star player points, I might be able to get it on a 2+, or I can buy it cheaply and roll a 5+. So that it becomes, in that sense, still random, but it's also a question of like, how much do you want to dedicate to it? And it becomes much more of a, let's say, a tree that opens up with this, and you have randomness through that. And if you get the block, well, this is the cost of block. How you got it doesn't matter. If you're lucky or not, doesn't matter. And then have the introduction of randomness through that means could be a way of doing it. And then of course having like, if you want a strength upgrade, well that you need to roll pretty high on. You could get to roll many times of course, but you need to roll pretty high to get that, because that is a special thing to get, as an example. Or agility, which I think is actually, at least with the current team value cost, agility is much more valuable than strength, because strength is just overcost.
I do miss strength boosts, to be honest. That is something I do miss seeing.
Yeah. Well,
teams.
Double 6.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just people taking it because it's 80k. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're just never going to take it. I mean, unless you're. I think there is one team. I think it's a Lizard Man team.
So Snow Troll has, as far as I remember, has a strength 5 Saurus. I seem to remember Tektra had a strength 3 skink for the grand final last season. So
that was important player as well. Is Lockistar still running his strength 4 thrower?
No, I think, and at least in my opinion, he wised up and thought that might be a little bit too expensive.
Yeah.
Because
the stats are weird, aren't they? Because I mean, I've been consistently running a movement 8 dwarf, which even makes me feel dirty, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
But it's
8 dwarf.
I know.
So if you want to feel,
that just shows everything wrong.
No. Let's be fair. Like if you want to feel less dirty, then consider there's dwarf runners who have 8 movement, sidestep, and sprint.
Yeah, that's an expensive player though.
Oh, it is, but it's a 1-turn touchdown dwarf.
Yeah. Well, I almost pulled off a 1-turn touchdown with that guy a couple of seasons ago.
Oh yeah. And let's agree that one thing that dwarves really don't need to get is a 1-turn touchdown dwarf, because that's just that's not really.
Oh.
Okay.
Failed regen, and that is seriously hurt. That one's going to be missing.
Yeah.
For who they get to play next, which is Archangel. Yay!
So sad. So sad.
That reduces the ability for you to add to that one casualty you've got all season against you.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a separate issue. That's really insane.
Though I actually noticed this about your teams. You start off really strong with casualties.
Yeah.
And then you tend to have a run in your last 3 games where casualties start to mount up.
Yeah.
And then that's what gets you. And
I hope
on, get him.
Oh, reroll.
Reroll it.
Yeah, rerolling that.
Oh fuck. Sorry.
That's 55% chance that he downed it.
Sorry, folks. This is Davina McCall. You're live on TV. Please do not swear.
Language, young man. Language.
I enjoyed that play though.
Yep. I think it was the right call. Nuffle just
said no, thank you.
Yeah. Though I will say that for the casualty talk we had before this, Senjo took a great advantage of it in the quarterfinal. My orcs were just deciding that they didn't want to stay on the field. Clearly, that was the easier path.
Have you played Prout yet?
Yes, I have played Prout. Though it was also an FA Cup, so slightly different rule set, right? But
Have you played them this season?
no, I get so if you complain about what's left, so I get Fantas next round, and then I get Lala Prout. So
Yeah, I
that's
seem to remember they've got some scary things, but they're not quite as scary as they were.
they
They've taken a bit of attrition, I think.
when they joined Prem, they were more scary than they are in the current format. They're still scary. I'm not gonna say that my orcs are not particularly looking forward to it, but I think compared to what they looked like at the beginning, it's less worrisome now.
John, I was having a look at your team actually. If anybody wants to know how you should beat Archangels or Orcs, you need to kill those big and blockers. Those blockers need to die. I know you have 2 with armor 11 now, which is outrageous.
I have
But
three.
they gotta go.
Yeah.
Like your blitzers are not your problem.
No.
It's the big uns.
Yeah.
They're all horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just one block guard, stand firm. One block guard, stand firm, mighty blow, armor up.
Yeah.
Block guard, stand firm, mighty blow, armor up. And what have you chosen on those? What are they? How much they cost as standard?
I think they all have 2 randoms.
That's outrageous.
No, Snow Troll, the Frenzy, Juggernaut, blah blah blah. He has 3 randoms. That's also
I lent
also
into randoming last
that,
season and had
that
to fire as many players as I was randoming.
yeah.
What, because you were rolling into pile driver?
Multi-block pile driver.
So well, I would say like you get good dice and get bad dice. So I think just for
I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Like I think those players, those big and blockers, I think they were your starting big and blockers. I don't think you've lost any.
no
You might have lost
one of them I lost, yes.
But like they have played 52, 62, 70 games.
Yeah.
They've got not a scratch on them.
Well, I would say thank you redraft for that.
I'm disappointed in you, Prem West. Like really disappointed.
Yeah. I actually had a few I think I had 2 of them with nicks on them after last season.
I didn't get any niggling injuries healed on my team.
No. But yeah. I think
we've lost the blitzer.
Yeah, he got fouled off the pitch quite literally. But the funny thing is sometimes you're lucky with your rolls and sometimes you're not. So right now I have a Dark Elf with a diving tackle and diving catch because diving is all this player apparently knows and wants to do. So he likes to throw himself on the ground for various reasons. But yeah.
Is that Mark's just mentioned you've saved 170k?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Randoming prowess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if there's any Dark Elf coaches out there, we should definitely mourn the loss of Seraph the Serpent Eyes of the Nagarond Nightmares, who is dead to the hands of the Nurgle. Just switched over to the Blitzy DK Max game.
Yeah.
That's not going particularly well for the Dark Elves. Mark seems to be just holding the good name of Dark Elves up at the moment.
Yeah.
Almost on his own.
But he just seems to be a little bit unhappy about that over dodging the bomber is an option that orcs have.
Fair play to Mark as well. He's got a minus 15 casualties.
Yeah.
How on earth has he done that?
He plays really well.
I was very unhappy about our game.
Oh, well, for all good reasons, I agree with that. Well, I would though say that this season's match that you and I had was at least less unfair than the last season, where the Bomber just single-handedly won the game, basically.
Yeah, hate that Bomber.
I like he spent like
Started on bombers.
he spent like 3 turns throwing bombs, and every time that he hit something, it was no, not 4+, not 4+, not 4+. And then one turn he decided like, okay, I'm gonna bomb and I'm gonna 4+ everything on this bomb, and he took out the ball carrier and everything around it. And it was just like, okay, that seems balanced. Yeah.
I do remember that I had real fun in that first half, and I thought actually the way you played that first half,
Yeah.
it was you absolutely deserved to win that.
Yeah.
Based on how you kept Bomber clean.
Yeah.
It was like watching a good old-fashioned NFL game where you've got the quarterback in the pocket
Yeah.
and your offensive line is just like holding for as long as it can
Yeah.
against like monstrous defensive linemen.
Yeah. It was basically just 11 Dark Elves ripping 2 Orcs to shred, with the Bomber hiding in the middle. And then once he finally decided this was the right bomb to throw, he then redeemed himself. That was basically the match. But yeah.
It was a good game, that one. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
that will be missed. Ooh.
It's a good. What division is this? Is this Altdorf's?
Yeah, it must be, I think. Because this is the division that I got completely, let's call it not right.
Yeah, this is Alt East, yeah.
Yeah, we should probably also have a look at the predictions in a second.
Yes, we've got 12 minutes left of the stream, I think. I'm interested to see where Blitzy's going. Well, he's decided to go there. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
He really didn't want that Blitzer not going down though. Just to follow.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go up and screen off this one. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do that already.
You can surf it.
Yes, you could. You are right. Have you got enough movement though to get the run of the other side?
No. Like if you get
You able
1,
just to
2,
zoom out a
3,
little
4.
bit? Because really, what you want is you want the run of the other side.
Yeah. 1,
You want
2,
him,
3,
as you look at it, you want
4,
him on the
5,
top
6,
left.
7. If you put him here, you have 7 movement. You can do that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he
You
sits
want him
there.
there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 3+. Come on. Well, you can. You could also just do clear 6s, and that's how you do it. Yeah, you almost gonna have to put him down below. Yeah, it's.
How far the Rotter's got to go? So this is basically going to be a 1-1 draw then, basically, isn't it?
I think so. It would need quite a bit of an upset here the last minute.
How far can the Rotters run?
Isn't it 4? 5? 5.
4?
The bloaters are 4. The gutters are of.
I would agree with that assessment of you need to foul the Pesticle.
Yeah.
You need to do it with the Witch, who's down there. Yep. Interesting. This is my tactic. That often doesn't end well for that Witch.
No. I was going to say it wouldn't almost have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Better to put it here. And going for it here.
Yeah.
And then screen here. So we had a wall there.
Is it 1, 2, 3 rush? Unless the ball like rolls double ones and no, it would still move far enough away. No,
not dumping it off.
I mean, there is a scenario. There is a scenario where it bounces to a place where you can go for it again onto the dice.
There was. There was.
What a funny old game, eh?
Yeah.
So much planning and then nothing just goes, nah.
Well, should we have a look at some standings in the old predictors?
Oh, I think we should have that. I'm just gonna put a smart match in a background.
As I think that's probably the end of proceedings for this evening.
Well, I think we are getting definitely
got probably one turn left in that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if.
Yeah, they lost a couple more, I think. How badly hurt is that catcher?
Mummy, opposite end. Catcher is badly hurt. That's the only way he can be here.
Yeah.
So, except for a dead lineman, they all badly hurt.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Waldorf will be delighted.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna see
how far am I behind, and where do my picks need to come through?
So, if we have a look, let's see if we can go back here to the Excel sheet. Oh, my computer is being slow. I'm sorry. Choosing us here. Oh, that's not the window. There we go. So, let's start from the top. So, Alton is almost finished this round. And that is LittleWings. And you are doing pretty well. Except Coach Noodle really needs to, for your liking, to do a little bit better wouldn't be bad.
I gave him a heads up this week and he didn't oblige.
Well, I'll say Coach Noodle is already winning in life because he's ordered himself his very own UKBBL t-shirt to pick up at the UKBBL tabletop tournament in March. So if you'd like to get your hands on one of those, you can fill in the Google form and I'll get you one. You just need to come to the tabletop tournament and I'll get it for you.
I will probably sign up. I am making a serious effort at least. Just need the missus to agree that that's a really good idea.
I think she should come. You know,
there's lots to do in the village. I was going to say, is there any other missuses who likes to go clothes shopping?
Nottingham, Leicester. There's plenty of places closed.
And that might be a plan there. Phil, however, in Griffinwood, you just need to get your ducks in order there. You are close to a perfect score. As close as is. Atticus needs to move up to second, and Cornite just needs to move up one. Then it's a perfect 300 points. That's pretty damn impressive.
Loserville just continuing the habit of ruining my week.
Good on you. Good on you.
I love it. Loserville is absolutely lovely, a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah.
But he needs to lose a game this week so he can drop out of the top 3. Right.
Then we have Darkwell Forest, which is also yours, Phil, which have already started round 8. Just they're that keen. That's pretty impressive. And the Bandicane is not performing as well as you had hoped.
This one I think was quite difficult. I was quite happy with my top 2.
Yeah.
And then it was a case of I wasn't really going to be sure who the other ones were. Probably should have backed Ichikokuto a little bit more.
Yeah.
Did very well with the Wood Elves, but it is quite tight. I mean, although the Bandicane is in 8th, there's only 2 points between 3rd and 8th.
Yeah.
It's been a kind of backing up my point about that's quite a hard division.
Oh yeah, it's very competitive. It's also one of those where the differences between those in the top is like paper thin. Like they played 8 matches, but if we take those 3 points, we're down to 14, and then between 14 and down to place 9, there's 5 points. That's really close. Then we have Lauren Forest, which is your LittleWing, which you are doing pretty good with also. We however just need to get your Nurgle friend a little bit better positioned, and then it will be really nice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's also one of yeah. It seems that Matt is starting to take a little bit of a leap there on its own. Then we have Phil on the Colza Hills.
What are Sminties and Ceramol doing to me?
I was going to say I would never have predicted Ceramol sitting there. That
3-3. Yeah.
That's
24 casualties this season.
I think he might be struggling with that they don't have regeneration. I could be wrong. Definitely seems to be.
Ceramol is a former Wood Elf UKBBL champion.
Yeah.
This is not what I expected. And these were those 2 picks, Ceramol and Sminties 1 and 2, were the quickest 2 picks of my whole picks. Yeah. I didn't think very, very, very much about who I was going to put 1 and 2.
No.
But please for Glorious Ruse and his more orcs. Yay.
Yay.
So pleased to see Mal doing well with the Dark Elves.
Oh, definitely.
7 wins. That's a good start.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. I'm also thinking that should put him in a pretty good place for Altdorf next season and doing well there, because that should probably be a pretty well-built team at this point. Worsner got off in Farley Kills to a amazing start, killing everything and scoring lots of touchdowns, but have seemed to be slowing down a little bit here towards the end of the season.
Just needs to slow down enough to let Rydor catch him.
Another almost again perfect score here. Really good predictions, I was going to say, compared to. Then we got Barren Hills, which is my high hope, where my predictions are doing fairly well.
That's good.
Yeah, for once that's. And then we should almost just skip the next one, because there's no point.
We did warn you of not putting in Itchin in the top 3.
Yeah.
I believe when we did that, we did warn.
Yeah, but Itchin is not in this one.
No. That was in the.
Oh yeah, yeah. So.
I knew that'd come back to bite you in the bum.
Yeah. I was also inclined to put him in, but he just gave more
However,
time.
fair play. You basically have picked one first, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
So it's not like you've done terribly.
No, I think this one I'm fairly happy with, and I have to give a shout out here to LA Play Gamers. So for the first time, I was going to say in now 7 rounds, I actually have points in Alt of East because I guessed the number I guessed the number 7.
Congratulations.
And the thing that I find most impressive in the not so good way here is if I look at the names, like 5 out of 11 names, and none of them is in the top half. None of them. Like that's impressive. Not in the good way, but it's definitely impressive. But yeah.
Yeah.
Then we oh my god, there's 2 seconds. I'll just fix that. There we go. Then we have Alt of West, which is yours, Phil, which was always going to be a little bit more of one of the more difficult one. And you should probably have put Senju on your list, but yeah. But I must also say that I'm a little bit surprised
I think my ones. I think I put like an honourable mention. So I have
definitely
probably my one that I missed. I mean,
yeah.
plenty of time still left for Lord Gibby to pick it up. Hasn't lost games though.
No.
Hasn't lost games. Just hasn't been winning. That's been the problem.
As
Be
soon as
interested to see what games he's got left to play.
yeah.
Does he have to play? Does he have to play Winter's Dad and Bushranger? Does he have to play the
Senjo, yeah. That's one of those things that's hard to see in this level. What kind of games there are left, like, and that's very been the case for all premise, where, for example, Galentia got off to a pretty rough start and has really picked it up ever since.
Is the Superb Ghoul still alive?
I would say I haven't checked, but I will more or less guarantee that is the case.
Well, that's disappointing. Never mind.
I just had a look at All West, and Gibby still has both stunties left to play.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely also going pretty well there. BB not having the season that I predicted. I think it's fair to say.
I think that's a shock though. I think.
Yeah. I haven't.
Fair, no one would have probably had Scouse Boy down in 12th as well.
No. But I think it's also one of those divisions where I said, like, more or less I could have put any name from that division in the top 3, and that would probably have been it could be. It was a tight.
I'll probably say the team who's probably having the best season from expectations is probably Grumpelkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closely followed by Sam.
Yeah.
So I would say, because that Wood Elf team is only 2 seasons old.
Oh.
Because they played the seeding season, the first season, and then they took a break for university.
Yeah.
And then obviously coming back into that is not a nice division to be in if you're a Wood Elf.
No. And I just, Senja just mentioned that RTS and Gilentio is playing this coming week 8. That's gonna be
hopefully they kill each other.
That's my hope. But it's I think I could be wrong, but I think that might be the deciding factor of who gets to be in the playoffs.
I think if they probably both get through it, I wouldn't be surprised to see that's the final.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite an attritional division, so my sort of hot take for this evening is I think West will come out on top for once this season, because
that's a hot take. I love it, but it's definitely a hot take. And
people are getting killed in the East.
Yeah. I would though say that it seems that Fantas and also my orcs have finally decided that KO is not an acceptable result. I don't think I've ever had a season with this many casualties this early. So definitely getting up there. But yeah, no, I think it's sort of interesting to see that there is this the same super goal basically in the two divisions, and they're both in second place.
Yeah.
But
The thing is,
that's
though, is just like it's. I mean, I know from watching both those games, it's not like they're not giving up hits on that goal.
no.
That I mean, yes, it's a super goal, but you can't rescue it if it goes down. Unlike, for example, a certain horrible renegade dark elf that you could
Oh yeah.
rescue.
Yeah.
And we saw a couple of them, right?
Oh yeah. Definitely. I think also Methimus on my org team is also much like if you have armor value 9, like even if you get a hit, it's not the same as you're gonna go down.
What I also find interesting about these teams is I wonder when the ghouls go, do the teams actually re-roll? Have you built your team to a point where you can't really operate without them? Like you've played for so long with that team with a particular style of play. I think that's what I've really struggled with this season, is going from having 4 blitzers and then one's got the tackle mighty blow, which has given me a little bit of attrition, even if it's a KO.
Yeah.
And then going to not having that as an option and not having the sneaky git and the dirty player. I've got to prepare for a completely different game.
I think
It's quite interesting to think about what might happen when that player goes.
I
Because they
definitely.
will go.
Oh yeah.
How much SPP is that gone at?
Got 49 surplus.
Sorry, it's got 49 surplus. Sorry.
Click
It
on it
looks
because
like
it
a
does tell you how much.
It's a 3-digit. It looks like it's a 3-digit number on the stream because it looks quite small.
Yeah.
You're
But
saying it's only 2. Okay.
yeah. But I think the how to say it. I think a team like this without that player, like you say, is a very different team. And I think especially
Yeah.
I think it's more the case. I think Fantas has at least 2 super goals. Sorry, 2 super mummies, right? Also. So even if he loses his super goal, he sort of still has some, like, let's say, punchiness left in his team. I think Giliantios, which is, I think it's an interesting, is the mummies are not so important, or they just might have died a little bit more. And then he has 2 really nice ghouls instead. And I think it's sort of interesting to see, like, what. I think there's a good chance they will mean.
Feels like Galentio's set up to replace the Super Ghoul faster than Fantas is. I think Fantas is probably more set up to hold steady and sit in mid-table while you build the Ghoul back up.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Galentio's kind of more got a succession plan in place for the Ghoul.
Yeah. I also think this Ghoul is for sacking. This is for getting the ball from the opposing team.
Yeah.
And then there's the super zombie that is just talking about randoms. That's 5 randoms.
I love that. I love that. That's my favorite player of the whole league, I think.
I think it's an amazing player.
Tackle, kick, strip ball, block, and frenzy. That's amazing. I love that.
I would rather put it this way. If you got to choose one of the skills on that player and replace with a different general skills, what would it be? Because I was going to say, like, that's almost optimal. Like, I can't think of a skill that I would replace with a different skill.
I'd probably take wrestle over block, and then that's pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
It's probably the only thing you could say.
Yeah. I'm not even
nothing
sure.
Else.
I'm not.
Nothing else in the general tree that
No.
you would go. I'd rather have.
No. So, but I think it's also a little bit interesting to see, at least compared to last year, it seems the attrition has gotten to the Blackhawks a little bit this year. At least 2 of them had to be replaced, and then it does sort of indicate that West has become more punchy.
Nothing on the Nothing on the goblins either, really. And you got
Yeah.
one with block and dodge, but then you got one dirty player.
Yeah.
Did he have a sneaky git dirty player?
I think
Did,
he had
yeah.
two. He didn't have two.
He had two, I think, fired one and then lost one this season.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, that looks like they've taken a bit of a beating. I'm not sure what from.
No, but still squeezed out 6 wins and 1 draw, which is quite impressive. But it's also a very orc-heavy division.
I genuinely don't see that staying as it is.
No. But yeah.
There's got to be a point where you go, that's enough orc for me.
Well, we talked about this before you joined. Like I said, like if next season is the final season of the current rule set and current teams, then I'm going to stick with orcs. Otherwise, I'm switching. And that's sort of what I'm waiting to find out whether.
Let me have a think. So we finish this season in 4 weeks. So that puts us to early November.
Yeah.
So then you've got mid-November as the next season. I think the new box will be released either just before December or probably the first couple of weeks before December for Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't see Cyanide putting their patch in.
The patch has been early next year. And let's be also fair, that is deliberately weak. That is definitely deliberately weak.
I think you're more likely looking for May, something like that. So I think you probably got at least 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm at least hoping that there will be, by the time that we need to make the declarations for next season, that there's some clarity. And if it's tilting towards that it will be the final season, then it's like I think the Orcs should have then it's that team I play with for all the seasons in this sort of say version, and then switch new season, a new game, new team. But if it's not the final season, then I might as well. But yeah.
I'm steady on Matheus. Hang on a minute. No, that's not quite correct, is it? Let's.
So Phil is
only 19. There's only 19 points in it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just super happy I'm not last. I mean, although that could all change.
So at least now I get 30 points for Vault of East, which is
who do I need to have conversations with? Colsall, Hill.
I think.
Oh, that's Ceramol and Smitty's, right?
Yeah, I think especially Ceramol is your biggest drain currently.
Less than 200 average.
Yeah.
Still plenty of time. Plenty of time.
If we just for a minute pretend like Altdorf East doesn't exist, then this looks much better. this I'm much more happy with.
We've done one without that on. Oh.
Just for the funsies, but yeah. So
is that what we can do? Like remove our worst one?
That would actually be sort of interesting, though.
I'd be extremely pro that.
I think
that means I would be winning. I think in that case.
I will do the math afterwards, but I think that actually might be correct. If we remove our worst division, each of us, I think.
Actually, no. I think probably LittleWing still would be ahead.
By
a smidge.
You get removed a one.
Yeah, it's a 180, and then it's a 135. What is that? 45, and my gap is 30 for my best division.
Yeah.
I think LittleWing's doing better in the other divisions.
I think he might overtake. You might overtake him. If my math and my.
What's that? 28. I've got one. I'd have 285. 185. 290, 370, 470, 570, 650. Is that right? 650.
Yeah.
650 divided by 2, 3.
So usually a magician should never let people see the trick. So in between here, there is the math. So if we pretend this is the right one, yeah. So if we see that's Colza Hills, let's pretend that that doesn't exist, and let's pretend LittleWing, that's Alton, that doesn't exist.
So you got Farlick Hills Central.
Yeah, and then we have to say that you only have 3 divisions each. LittleWing still scooches out in front.
Yeah.
By a small margin, but it's still there.
Damn Farlick Hills Central.
Yeah. No. Sorry. I have to remove them here because they're still being added behind. They're just being not divided.
I will also say that was also LittleWing showing off by not predicting you first.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a flex, weren't it?
just making it interesting.
I'll give you some free points back.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I got on the chaos train with La 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 Prout. I think we were all on it. If you look back at the predictions,
I think we were all on it. They did say in our one they'd found the difference going up to the Prem was large.
it is. Yeah. As somebody that's bounced between, it is. It's yeah.
So it gets.
Why do you only get 2 visions, Angel? Well, because did you only do 3?
I only did 3, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's 11 divisions, so one of us had to do less. So I thought that was fair too.
If you listen to this, folks, get your friends to come and play some Blood Bowl so we can all have 12 divisions, so we can have an equal contest.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah. Very good point.
So
well,
this
folks,
is.
I hope you've enjoyed this extra 27 minutes, which makes up for the time that I was going and getting Kinder Bueno for somebody. But I do have to sign off because I've got to go and do some work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not night owls.
No.
Like other people on this stream.
I will, however, just briefly show this for those who will find this sort of interesting, because this is the same math but just done by races. So this is the races that has the most points on average per team, and by that logic we should all be playing in at least Amazons or Scrambling Undeads or Black Orcs before we play Orcs.
Imperial Nobility is top.
Yeah,
that's a small sample size.
There's only 2 of them, and to be fair, also they are both at a very low tier. So they both probably one in Moot and one in a Forest. So that's sort of I think, but I still find this very interesting. Like if you look at, especially because Amazons, they're 9 teams, Scrambling on that's 6 teams. That's a sample size that's worth taking into consideration. One Elven Union doesn't really make a sample size of anything, right? But even though there's that many more orcs, they're not actually doing that on average that well compared to those who are doing really well. And if you go down the list and you go like, okay, so who's scoring the most touchdowns? Really surprising to see that Amazon's again scoring the most touchdowns. Imperial Nobility is getting less touchdowns done against them. If you look at the casualties, Imperial Nobility is still, but halflings apparently don't play against halflings because they will kill you. And that is where I find the regeneration is really interesting, because it's really fun, interesting, not funny, not haha, but funny, interesting, that the 3 regeneration teams are all sitting here at the low end of casualty rates, right? That means that they're not suffering casualties. And that's what I was talking about earlier, that this really matters also, especially in a long-time league, right? These teams are avoiding getting damage done to them. And these are the teams that are doing a lot of damage, and there's a lot of overlap there. So of course, that's funny enough, the bashing teams that avoid getting crushed and do a lot of damage, and there's teams that do a lot of touchdowns and don't get scored on that much. And we have teams that are clearly just getting more points than others. Like Chaos Chosen is not doing on averaged out again, like not doing that so well, for example, which is a bit surprising to me.
I wonder if we could get a stat channel on Discord, because I think you post these, but they get a little lost in the general.
That's a good shout.
Yeah. Then is
Statman Dave sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also found, like, just for interesting, like this is by tier. So if you look at corn teams, because they're fairly newly in, right? They're down at first tier, so that's Forest. The only Union team there is in tier 4, so that's why it's up in the high. But then you can also see, like, Amazon's a fairly new team, so they're a fairly low tier. The Listment teams seems to be doing quite well and are mostly in the high tiers. It's an old team that came out a long time ago, and they are already built up, so they are in the higher tiers. Yeah, next season we'll add vampires to this, because this is just for UKBBL, by the way. This is not all leagues. This is just our league. So, and since therefore is also no vampires. No, we got one vampire team. That is correct. We got one mute. That is not being included. I will get that sorted. And then there's certain races that just do like to play draw much more than others. And it's really interesting to see that, like, Chaos Renegades really like to draw, and Nurgle either win or lose, and the same with Lizardmen. So I find this really interesting that there's clearly let's call it a race difference between how they play and how they compare to other teams, and also something to do with the release schedule, of course, right? But yeah,
It's really interesting, mate. Yeah.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. Then we have 2 small plugins, and then we'll leave everyone alone and let's get some sleep. So for those who are not aware, we have a FA Cup final coming very shortly. We have even 2 of them, and LittleWing will be joining me for the one on the 23rd, which is, I think it's this one. No, this must be this one, because you mentioned on as commentator. So this is on the 23rd, and this is the one on the 15th, which should be really interesting. But it's also a little bit interesting looking that we just look at the races that Lizardmen are doing generally good in UKBBL, that there is also 2 Lizardmen teams in the playoffs. I'm not so surprised. But I think it's really interesting that it's at least looking like there's going to be 2 undead in the playoffs in the normal league, and in the UKBBL FA Cup, it is 2 Lizardmen teams. So maybe the format of Resurrection just leans a little bit more towards Lizardmen, and Undead region leans a little bit more to real play. But that's maybe just wild guessing here from my side.
They got to get to the final first.
Oh yeah, but they're definitely in a sweet spot. Those 2 Undead teams to make it.
After all the build up, you're gonna have Old World Alliance against Orcs.
But here's the thing. If we have learned one thing from all these predictions that we have done over the many seasons now, is never listen to Archangel. That's the safest bet. Whatever is being predicted is probably not going to happen. So yeah, I seem to have a pretty bad record, especially if you look at Old Wolf. So cool. I think we should leave it at that, and I'll rate everyone on in a second afterwards here, but I will also let you 2 say goodbye. I will just say thank you everyone who is still stuck around after all this time and listening to us rant on, and take care and all that.
So much, folks. Enjoyed spending an evening with you.
Yep. You too, guys, and good night, chat.
Bye bye, and thank you for this time.